Last week's Supreme Court case on birthright citizenship should be the beginning of the end of the erroneous universal birthright citizenship interpretation of the 14th Amendment. Although the case Trump versus Casa is about President Trump's birthright citizenship executive order to limit who may be considered a U.S. citizen, the Supreme Court focused last week's hearing on a procedural issue of nationwide injunctions and will likely kick the can down the road and leave the main substantive question of birthright citizenship for later. Here's the crux of the underlying question. Should children born in the U.S. to illegal alien parents be considered U.S. citizens? Some people would say yes, but the truth is that the Constitution never supported that. Let's look at the historical source of the claimed citizenship. The 14th Amendment was passed in 1868, immediately after the Civil War, to allow former slaves and their children to become U.S. citizens. Congress certainly wasn't considering then that children born here to illegal alien parents would be considered U.S. citizens. Besides the historical context of the 14th Amendment, we can also look at the actual language. Quote, "All persons born in the U.S. and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the U.S." The phrase "subject to the jurisdiction thereof" is key. It requires more than merely being born here. We have written historical and judicial text indicating that a child born to a foreign diplomat in the U.S. would not be a U.S. citizen because they remain subject to the jurisdiction of their home country, which they represent. The same would certainly be true for illegal aliens who have less immigration status than a temporary visiting diplomat. Illegal alien parents remain subjects of their home country. Likewise, their children born here are subjects of their parents' home country and therefore are not U.S. citizens. It's time for the U.S. to correct this false interpretation of the 14th Amendment and join the majority of countries around the globe in ending universal birthright citizenship.